of the week, and the one that I have today is actually one that I gave to a new investor who's just getting started along their real estate investing journey. And as part of their journey, they are also doing this with someone who's very close to them. So someone who is at some point, he had mentioned to me that he was going to ask this woman to marry him. And as we were talking about that, I said, so, you know, wonderful, you guys are dating and investing. This is perfect. This is beautiful. I'm curious, are any of you guys currently dating someone that you want to be investing with? This would be the interactive part. Okay. 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 A couple of you guys. You don't want to admit? I mean, you know, so I'm kidding. So it was funny because when we were talking about his investing, you know, we kind of talked about like him proposing, and that came up, and I had a follow-up meeting with him today, and it was kind of a funny conversation because I told him, you know, that he should maybe consider holding off on getting married. Consider holding off on getting married. Now, I don't know if his future fiance is going to like me after this or not. And then for those of you guys in there who are hoping that a ring is about to be put on a finger, please don't hate me. Just know that this is coming out of a place of trying to help you guys. And I'm going to start it off by telling a small story about when I first knew that I was in love with my husband, okay? And my husband and I invest together. And when I knew that we were made for each other is when I walked into his office and he was on the phone and his back was kind of turned looking out the window. And he didn't see me come in, and I overheard him say, "So, would it be better if Shanoa and I got married this year or next year?" From a financial perspective, of course. And he was talking to our CPA. And when he turned around, I just looked at him and I said, "I love you." What'd he say? So my husband's standing in the back of the room right now. He'll remember that story. But I'll tell you, one of the reasons why we delayed getting married is this exact strategy that I'm going to disclose to all of you guys. And that is, there are a couple limits that are placed on us as real estate investors. So most real estate investors hit a glass ceiling when it comes to investing of only being able to get loans to buy somewhere between 4 to 10 rental properties, right? Usually you can get to 4 pretty easy. The only way you're getting to 10 is if literally you're walking on water, okay? So know that that's a glass ceiling. And I think a lot of investors come into this space thinking, oh, well, real estate investing, there's no glass ceiling. That's why I'm leaving my work, because there is a glass ceiling. I want to go into investing. Know that there is one, but through this buying subject to, through this wraparound mortgage that we discussed in the last segment for Shane's property, you can buy an unlimited amount of properties no matter what a bank says, right? Because you're leveraging someone else's loan. But for the loans that you are getting in your own name, typically you can only buy somewhere between 4 to 10 properties. Now, what most investors find is that they need somewhere between 20 to 30 properties to create the type of cash flow that they want to be able to have all of that mailbox money that they want to be able to be on a beach somewhere or do whatever they want or affect someone's life and leave a legacy for their family, okay? So do you guys see a little conflict of interest here, right? Between only being able to get 4 to 10 loans and really needing somewhere between 20 and 30 loans, right? And sometimes what people are doing is they're investing, so they're buying a property, and then they've got to save 3 years before they buy another property, and then they've got to save 3 years before they buy another property. And then you've been doing this for 10 years and you only have 3 or 4 properties. Are you going to get to where you want to get? And the answer is no, right? So that's one of the limits here. Now, when you get married, they don't say, wonderful, now we're going to give you guys 8 loans minimum, right? 20 loans maximum. Instead, what do they say? It's not wonder twin powers that have joined together and can get all these extra loans. It is now you guys together can now only get somewhere between 4 to 10 loans. That sucks, right? Some of you guys are thinking, well, how does this, should I get a divorce or should I, no, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But so that's one of the issues that you encounter. So what does that tell you to do? So you're better off getting all the loans that you possibly can and then getting married, right? Because then they can't take those loans away from you. You guys follow what I'm saying here? So people are getting married later anyway. It's probably because of this advice now. Now we know. Now we know what's happening. Okay, so that's one item that I want you guys to be aware of. Another item that I want you to be aware of, and what's interesting is in the last segment when Michael came up, I described what this looked like as well. So when you buy a property and you want to keep that property as a rental, and if you buy it with cash or if you buy it with hard money, then again, you put those repairs in, right? So now you've got a lot of money in there. And if you try to immediately refinance that, the bank's going to say, whoa, awesome, good, great on you. The most that we'll give you for that $210,000 house is the $130,000 that you bought it for. Well, wait a second. I'm like a real estate investing genius, right? No, you should be lending me on that 210. And what are they going to say? No, that's not how our underwriting department works. We won't allow you to do that. So now you've got a bunch of money stuck in this property that you would want to use to do what? Reinvest it and go and buy in other properties, right? So that becomes an issue, and then you've got fewer properties because you've got all of your money tied up in a couple of deals, and you can't get them out unless you wait for an extended period of time to be able to get those refinanced. So they're not going to give you what it's currently worth. So I put in an example here. If you bought a property for $150, you rehabbed it for $50, the value post rehab, what we commonly call as real estate investors, the ARV is $300,000. The lender's only going to want to refinance that $150 that you have in it, as opposed to maybe giving you a 70 to 80% LTV loan on that $300,000, which would mean a loan of $210,000 to $240,000, which again would pull all of your money out and maybe even a little bit of profit, right? Do you guys see how this can add up over time to slow down the amount of capital that you have to invest? So why all this matters? Because you want to take that money out, you want to invest in the next deal. It's always about getting that next deal so that you can grow that portfolio, so that you can be in a position to much quickly, in a much more quick manner, get to that level where you've got somewhere between 20 and 30 rental properties. 20 rental properties will probably work pretty good in Dallas County. 30 to 40 rental properties will work in an area like Waco or an area like Killeen, where the values are a little bit lower, where the rents are a little bit lower. So it kind of depends on where you're investing. So how am I going to bring all of these problems of dating and investing together to make this perfect combination? So what we'll do is I'll suggest that you solve both problems again while you're still dating. And guys, can I ask you guys something? I need a favor. Is it okay if I just kind of say what's on my mind and share with you guys things I think that are going to help you? Is it okay that will you guys just make me a promise not to cancel me tonight? Not tonight, okay? Will you make that promise to me? Even if I say something that's wrong?
Yeah, you're good in America.
I'm good, I'm in America, thank you. So I've used the words in here, boyfriend and girlfriend. I hope that's okay with everybody in here. So I know we're in a changing world right now, so I want to honor that. But this was just kind of how I thought of it and how Phil and I did the math when we were boyfriend and girlfriend. So again, the way that you can solve both problems while you're still dating is you can have, in my case, for example, Phil would buy a property, he would fix it up, he would flip it to me. I would pay full price. We would add that as a rental property. Say that again?
That's bitching.
That's bitching. Awesome. And I'm not getting canceled so far. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. So the couple gets to gets to keep that rental property. And that way, the boyfriend in this case would get all of his money out. The couple gets the rental property. And if you're like, well, what happens if we don't get married? It's okay. You can put a JV agreement on that property to be able to protect your interest in it. But the way that Phil and I did it before we got married is, well, I'm going to sell you this one. And the next one we get, you're going to buy it in your name or your company's name, and you're going to sell it to me. And then the next one, I'm going to buy it in my name, and I'm going to fix it up, and I'm going to sell it to you. So that allowed us to create all of these rental properties, right, while we're still dating, not married, and we could each get 4, right, while still being able to pull all of our money out to be able to buy that next property to build up that portfolio. Do you guys follow the logic on this? Okay, awesome, fantastic. So again, do this swapping back and forth until you hit your loan limit. And then I now pronounce you man and wife, or investor and investor, or whatever pronoun works for you. So yeah, so want to make sure you guys understand how you can use this. You can use this with other, people who you're even not getting married with. But it's you guys can kind of visualize how that strategy can work for you in the future. So again, this solves the problem of only getting 4 to 10 loans together, and allows you to get 8 to 20 separately to ultimately achieve those financial goals. And it solves the money of pulling your money out of a rental property so that you can buy more rental properties. Was this a good tip? Yes. Okay. Now, for those of you guys who are in here who are saying, dang it, when are we ever going to get married? And then for those of you guys who are saying we're married, find another couple who is also married. Okay? Any takers? Find another couple who's also married. You guys buy it, and then you sell it to them, and then they buy it and they sell it to you. It's not going to get you around the 4 to 10 loan limit, but it will certainly help you get that money out of the property that you just put in there, right? So I can get creative, but so I'm still rooting for you. So there are plenty of other things. In fact, when my husband's going to come up here and present shortly, and he's going to share with you how you can get all of the properties that you want without having to go through a lender. So that's going to be the strategy that you use, because at the point where we are in terms of our loans, we're maxed out, right? So now we have to use this new strategy that Phil's going to talk about when he comes up here. So it's okay. It's all just pet yourself, and it's self-soothe. It's all going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. All right, guys. So as we go through the presentation tonight, it's also really important to me that I share with you how we can be of service to you as part of Texas REIA. So we have all of this, what we call tribal knowledge. And it is tips and tricks exactly like this that have helped us build and grow our business. And it's tips and tricks like this that you can use to build and grow your business. So that's why I invite all of you guys to go and do a little research on some of our prior tip of the weeks, where you'll find different solutions regardless of your marriage status. This is the only one that includes a marriage status in there, but regardless of your marriage status. And I will tell you, having invested through I think 4 or 5 presidents, multiple law changes, contract changes, some of the wildest economies we've ever seen, including a great recession, and the last 2.5 years, which have been quite exciting as well. Love to be part of y'all's team as through Texas REIAs to help you along your journey.